the first thing to do is actually create the actual tables of this on the database to be able to save and retrieve profiles and so on. We can see them in this Excel file. This is the risk profile table. This one with ID, title, and description. And this is a criteria table here. This table risk assessment will be next on the when we implement the next screen of the risk assessments. Let's go back to the author's application and see the first functionality of creating tables on the database, which can be found here. Here, we logged in previously on port 5001 as admin, and we can start implementing by going to this section, persist entities. Persist entities are generally database tables, views, and another feature that is called app views, something similar to views. So we should go here on Table Designer and create those tables. Here, by clicking new. Here, this is something similar of creating, actually the same, of creating tables on the database. Go back here and name this the risk profile. And here, the idea is that we can actually create fields, empty fields, give a name on them, ID, give a type, integer, make it auto increment, use it as a primary key, and so on. But there are also other options here. For example, we can copy some of them even easier from an Excel file, title, description, and I think that we will need another field here, which will be the visibility, right? So visibility.
Yes. For coach.net, yes.
Let me copy those three.
Can be
This,
Pudia, yes.
yes, this is shown here. That's a risk profile. We have a title, a description, and that's the visibility, which is private or public and so on. So we create this table right now. That's why I added the visibility. And of course, we need a hidden ID of which one of those profiles. I just added the ID. Let's move on the default way. Title, description, the bit type. Those are all varchars, I guess. The description could be a text. Visibility, I will make this as a varchar because it's not a true false. We have two options here. We could have more, so I will keep it as varchar to have some values there of private and public of 10. Title could be, for example, 100. Description is text, so we don't need to modify anything. And just save. So we made the risk profile, and the next step is to create the criterion here. So here, let's create this table. And sorry, let's make, there are more options here, like this one, default fields, that I tend to use sometimes. The default fields are the actual ID, and some more fields that are modified by modified tone. Actually, sorry, we don't need to use those on this table because this is a secondary table. Of course, many criteria are under one risk profile, so we just need an ID. And then we need some more attributes, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the category, attribute, weight, I think, weight, and then minimum value, and month value,
Ilya,
yes.
can I suggest something? You can delete the attribute field. I think it's redundant. So category can be temperature, wind speed, oil spill, and everything. So attribute does not, I think, is not really needed.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Then the weight was, let me put it here. The mockups. Category weight is this one, right?
Yes, the weight is
Compliance.
low, medium, or high.
So let's make this also WhatsApp category 20, and so this also 20, and those are going to be doubles. Doubles, and this is also auto increment, the primary key, the ID. And we also need something more, which would be the profile ID actually, the foreign key for the profile, right? So let's initially save this
Yes,
profile.
yes.
Go back
The
again
criteria
to criteria.
will be in the profile.
So for this profile ID, which is again a big integer, save, and then go back to this profile. Let me show you something that I showed previously. Here would be useful to have this default. I will add the default fields and remove the ID because we already added the ID, and keep those for created by, created on, modified by, modified on. So we can have some hidden logs on our profiles. Who created this? Who is the last one that modified this, and when? We could add this on the main table on the risk profile. But I believe that it is not necessary on the criteria because many criteria are hung under one profile. So I believe it's more useful here, and save. And after that, we can go open this on the server again on port 4801, Sofia, and check for criteria. So let's this. Oh, yeah, the application DB, sorry. The other one is the configuration, and this one is the actual DB that has the data needed for the user. So that's the risk profile that was implemented. It is empty yet, but we can see the fields. And of course, criteria table. And let's go back on our application. So on this section on table designer, we have two tables. We can have many tables. We will create more tables here on next steps. But for now, we will keep those two and move on to the next section, which is the component designer.